Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Sarah Stevenson Tuesday Forum. I am Laura McClady, one of your facilitators, along with Winston Robinson, Mary Johnson, Jackie, Edward Walton, Natalie McEra, who is our timekeeper, and we are asking that you respect her when she raises the sign saying that your time is up. We have Mr. Steve Johnston, Shay Abdul, and we have, is Dr. Thomas Moore going to be with us this morning, Steve? Yes. Okay. Dr. Thomas Moore, and we are the facilitators for the Tuesday Forum, and we'd like to welcome you. We'd like to also welcome the listening audience that we have. We have Facebook Live, and we also are doing live streaming. So welcome to this forum this morning, and it's a special forum because it's time for us to go vote in September, and we need to get our candidates before the community. So we know that we have a lot of people that are probably doing what we feel is going to enhance our community by sharing information for those that are running for the mayor of our great city of Charlotte. We always like to start off with the prayer, and we're going to ask Mr. Patton to come up and share a word of prayer with us.
Good morning, everyone. I did receive permission from the bishop this morning to come up and stand. He wanted me to share that. I was promoted to elder this morning. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it. But something I want to share before we start the prayer. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Sharon Bowen. She was just appointed as the chair of the New York Stock Exchange. And she's the first African-American to serve in that role. And something that she shared, she talked about the sense of community and how she grew up in a small rural community and everyone came together to make sure that everyone succeeded, just like this forum does here. And she said, I've always said my role in being the first is to make sure that I bring up the second, the third, and the fourth. Right. And that's important. When we get to a point in our lives where we have an opportunity to bring someone else up, that's what we should do. So we're thankful for this forum for allowing us to do that. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity that you presented for us this morning. Lord, we thank you for rising us and allowing us to be able to travel safely to this forum, to be able to hear the information that's shared week after week. We thank you for the facilitators that give freely of their time each and every week to promote this very important program, Lord. God, we ask that what's discussed today will be blessing and it will produce great fruit for this community, and we'll continue to work together to achieve collective impact. These and other blessings we ask in your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Do we have anyone who's here for the very first time? Okay, we would like for you to introduce yourself and just share with us if you affiliate your affiliations, if need be. If not, we just welcome you, and we're happy that you're with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone?
Great.
It's my first time here. I'm Marcus Smith, commercial banker at Bank of America. Glad to join you guys this morning. And I was a guest of my wife, Nicole Smith.
Amen. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Trosh, District Court Judge, and I'll confess this is my first time in a really long time, and I'm glad to be here today.
Barry Green Jr., I'm a NODA resident, Executive Director of Transit First CLT, and I serve on the city's Public Transit Advisory.
Good morning, I'm Will Kessler. I live in Aldersgate in East Charlotte. I'm here with my friend Jan Boulder. Nothing special.
guest. This is my first time here. Just,
We'd like to welcome all of you and ask you to come back. We usually meet every Tuesday, at least 44 to 47 Tuesdays out of the year. We are here and we have presenters the majority of the time that we meet on Tuesdays. So, and we start at 8:30 and usually end at 10. Just a few rules. We do have presenters. 3 of them are already here and we expect the other 2 to come. But after they present, we will recognize you by raise of hands if you have any questions. And if you have a question and you'd like to direct it to one person, please do so. And if you'd like for all of the participants to answer, just say so, that you would like to hear an answer from everyone. And we do not debate. Once you ask your 30-second question, 30 seconds question, 30-second question, we would allow them 2 to 3 minutes each to answer. So we, as I mentioned, we do not debate at all. For those that are here for the first time, we do have coffee. We have a coffee fund, but it's free. If you want to make a donation, that works as well. But we have facilitators that will be noticing those that raise their hand first, and that's how we write your names down. So for those that are in the front, sometimes we get maybe a little mixed up, but we're all watching, so don't think that someone behind you didn't raise their hand first. But you will be called on accordingly. So with that being said, what we'd like to do is ask our candidates and our mayor to just introduce themselves, and I'm going to ask them if they would just talk a little bit about, well, with our mayor, she's accomplished so much. Just for her to at least share 1 or 2 things that she's extremely proud of what she has accomplished with all the years that she's been in office. And for the others, I would like for you all to at least share what your platform is and what you plan to accomplish that has not already been accomplished by our sitting mayor. So with that being said, we're going to have
Moment of silence.
Pardon me?
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence, yes. Please silence your phones. Everybody have a second to silence your phone. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, so we'll get started. We'll start with our mayor, Ms. Lyles.
Thank you for having me again. And this has been a tough week for me. I don't know if you know, all of you probably know James Ferguson, but the idea that one morning I was standing calling Jay, his son, and said, you know, Jay, I want to talk to your dad. I want to come and visit him. And he said, my dad passed away at 4:45 this morning. So I just would like to say a moment of silence in the honor of James Ferguson, who has made so much possible for so many of us. Thank you very much. So I've been asked to tell you what I am most proud of. I'm sorry, I should asking you to tell, I've been asked to tell you what I have felt as most of the accomplishments that I believe in. And I would say the very first thing is that I believe that we have created a climate where we can have different kinds of income and different types of roles. Charlotte is now the 14th largest city in the country. So people are coming, and what we have to do is prepare for all of us that have been here a very long time to open the gates so that other people can come and find the same kinds of opportunities that we have. And so one of the things that I'm most proud of is the Pearl. The work that we have done over in Brooklyn has made a tremendous difference in healthcare. Now, you know, we used to be known as a banking town, and everything was about banking. But this is a game changer because it will be around medicine, but more importantly, medicine is changing as well. And so the opportunity that we have to participate in things that are going to be very changing in the ways that we do have healthcare, I'm proud that we have someone that agrees with we can have a Brooklyn neighborhood that has healthcare for everyone. So that's one of my very first things. The other discussion that I would say that I'm most proud of has been the racial equity initiatives that we've had for Johnson C. Smith. You know, when Johnson C. Smith came 2 or 3 years ago, basically they were almost shut down. And I know many of you are really supporters of that university, graduates of that university, but it needed to have change. And we raised money, millions of dollars, so that people can now go to Johnson C. Smith proudly. I mean, the football team won a lot of things this year, so even just those attractions of what we're doing. So those are two of the things that I believe in. But, you know, so the other, I would end with this. I know that many of you know that we're having a difficult time sometimes at City Council, and I own that. But I also own the fact that we can change that as well. And that's one of the very first things that I want to have is participation of the full council and to do some things that will help keep us growing and being smart about how we grow. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Good morning, you all. How y'all doing this morning? My name is Jerron Gemini Boyd. I'm a Charlottean, born and raised on the west side of Charlotte. Yes, I'm running to be your next mayor on a few issues that have been concerning of me. One is the housing issue that we are suffering right now. As you notice, everywhere you go, you see people that are homeless. Displacement is everywhere. And we need to truly do something about that. We have all these individuals coming into our city and they're building and making our city beautiful. But for the individuals who are actually living in this city, they are suffering. If you go on the west side of Charlotte, you notice that they are really and truly suffering from housing displacement. Also, I'm also running on transportation. We need to do a better job with our transportation. It shouldn't take individuals 2 or 3 hours if they don't have a vehicle to get to work and get back home. That's very frustrating to individuals that are living in our city. Traffic is bad. We've already had accumulated like 30-something deaths this year already with traffic and accidents, and that's bad for us. Also, I would like to say that opportunity is a necessity in this city. Opportunity needs to be given, not to just one side of Charlotte, but to all of Charlotte. Everyone needs to have a chance to, you know, as our city prospers, as our city grows, everyone needs an opportunity. We all need opportunities. Our youth, you wonder why our youth right now are standing on the corners and just not doing anything with their lives. Violence is bad in our city. And I speak to youth because I have a nonprofit organization and I've been working with youth since I've been home. I'm formerly incarcerated. I spent 20 years in federal prison. If anybody knows what needs to be done with our youth and our safety, I truly believe it's me, because I'm out there every day dealing with our youth, totally every day. Also, some of the things that has been bothering me is that, you know, as our city is growing, our mayor has done an exceptional job in certain areas that has allowed our city to grow. But I truly believe that it's just time for us to go in a different direction with leadership, because leadership is important in this city, very important. And we have to have the right people doing the right things for our city constantly. And I just believe that I am the candidate can get those things done in our city. So my name is Jerron Gemini Boyd, and I look to be your next mayor of the city of Charlotte.
Apologies for arriving late. This is just introduction, right? No question? Yeah. I'm Brendan K. McGinnis. 3 minutes. I'm Brendan K. McGinnis. I'm running to be your mayor here in Charlotte. I'm a Charlottean. I wasn't born here like a lot of you, but my family moved down here in 1983, lived here for 3 years, and I came back in 2004 as an adult. I've seen the growth, I've been in awe of the growth of Charlotte over that period of time. The problem is, a lot of long-term residents haven't enjoyed that prosperity. They haven't seen that growth themselves. And that's why I'm running. You know, as a former Marine, I learned leadership. I rose to the rank of a non-commissioned enlisted, rose to the rank of a non-commissioned officer. One of the things you learn as a Marine is you either lead, follow, or get the heck out of the way. I'm more than willing to follow its proper leadership. I'm more than willing to get that out of the way if I can't be of service. But I'm also going to fill a vacuum when there's a leadership void. When I feel that there's no one stepping up, no one has the vision, the energy, or the trust to move people forward, that's what I'll do. Leadership isn't just about control. It's about vision. It's making sure that you have a plan that everybody will follow and trust you in implementing that plan. I was a small business owner. I owned a financial planning firm. I sat across from individuals like you for 12 years, hearing about your hopes, your dreams, and the struggles that you take. And I took that with me. And so a lot of times I went through those same struggles, and so I understood what they were doing. As a small business owner, I understand how government can get in the way. Small businesses are the backbone of the economy, and we need to support them as much as possible. And I understand how a government can both help and hurt a small business owner. And right now, I'm a stay-at-home father, and I understand the struggles that families face in the economy, whether it is transit, whether it is childcare, whether it is public safety. I understand those struggles. Running for mayor is a daunting task, okay? Especially when we have a short window. It's 42 days till election. I have 42 days to convince all the voters of Charlotte, including you, that I'm the candidate with the energy and the trust to make that happen. It's daunting, and that short timeline amplifies a lot of feelings of fear, doubt, anxiety. And I sit there and I go, who am I to decide that I'm good enough to be your mayor? But when you have a plan to create 25,900 houses over the next 10 years to fill a 36,000 house void, when you have a plan to create, 1 minute warning? Yes. I'm Brendan K. McGinnis, and I look forward to your questions, answering my plan. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Tiger Cindy Acute McDaniel, Juris Doctor. For some of you, that actually is like chalk on or nails on a chalkboard, because I'm not often welcome in this particular environment. You have a corrupt judge in the back, Elizabeth Trosh, who has committed immense due process violations against so many Black individuals here in Charlotte. And I have run on reform.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me. We don't insult people, and we don't do things like that in here, so just be careful about it.
Yes, so this is not an insult. So I am very pragmatic. And most of this audience here is Black. And we are dealing with a very serious issue of diversity, equity, and inclusion in both our judicial system, our legislative system, our political partisanship as well. And we need individuals who are in place, in elected office, who are going to stand against the insurrectionists, the Trump supporters, and those who have absolutely no intentions of doing anything positive for the entirety of Charlotte. And again, this is not an environment where I am normally welcome. I am fully aware of that, and it doesn't concern me because you all are not my full constituents. Some of you will be my constituents once you leave. Some of you are shaking your head and you're like, you know what, she's right. I've not ever known beautiful Black leaders to succumb and to stand by and take it and allow any of our elected officials who choose to be on the wrong side of justice to do us harm. That's not the makeup for my upbringing at all. And some of you had very similar upbringing, and you know that. So I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking life into you. I'm speaking conviction, spiritual conviction. I was raised in a Baptist church. I am the product of Black America, breaking generational curses. I myself am a veteran, former federal ranger with the National Park Service, which is unheard of for Black women. I am a doctoral level scientist, again, which is unheard of for Black women, applied science. I am amongst 1% in this nation who holds both a PhD and a Juris Doctorate. And the fact that I am here and the fact that Gemini is here should move you to understand that clearly our mayor is not doing an effective job. Because if she were, then we would throw our support behind her.
Excuse me, we don't do that. We don't do that in here. We do not do that in here. I hope you understand that.
I am being pragmatic. I have not insulted anyone. I am being pragmatic.
Okay.
But I find it very interesting that you can insult me and not find any issue with that.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me. All of us. My name is Delter Gwynn. I'm born and raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I had an intent to run quite a few years ago, but I was blocked by doing so by the pandemic. 3 of my family members in 1 year were diagnosed with cancer. 2 of them, my father and grandmother, passed away, so I was unable to run. And by the time I got the strength to do it again, I wanted to add healthcare to that. That was something that was very important to me. My mother and my family are in the audience, and I'm not going to be emotional, but the healthcare is something that's very, very, very important to me. What I want to run on, aside from healthcare, is to make sure that while we're building a beautiful city, that no one is left behind. I want to make sure that we, yes, attract other people from all over the world, and they're able to come to Charlotte, and it has grown to be one of the top cities. But I want to make sure, before we look outside of Charlotte, we make sure that everyone in Charlotte who was born and raised, who are on the streets, they are also not forgotten and left in the shadows. That is one of the main reasons why I wanted to run locally here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope that you'll be able to visit my website and see my true vision. I don't want the time to expire, but I thank you all again for just having us all, and I hope that today it brings forth a lot of light and helps clarity for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Ian Combs has the first question.
Oh. Blown away. I don't know if I had time to formalize the question. I'd like to ask each of you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you assess, you don't have to answer, Doc. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate current Charlotte overall politically in the last 8 years? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest.
Wouldn't that be?
Ms. Mary Jane?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I asked a question.
We didn't have an answer. We don't have a mic on a mic?
No, yes, please.
So go ahead, there's a mic down there.
Oh, just anyone?
So,
You're going to allow him to exclude her?
Yes.
To exclude?
Well, I clearly understand what she made herself very clear. I just want
No, I
to help.
can still answer, but
I
excluding,
don't
I
want
don't
you
think
to
it's
answer.
appropriate.
Okay, okay.
Go
Wait a minute, hold up. Wait just a minute.
Let me know, are you
Let me,
interested?
no, just,
Because I find that that's very
Tanya, hold on
interesting.
just a second.
Yeah.
Just let me
Mm-hmm.
say something.
Mm-hmm.
When a person asks a question, I ask if they would designate who they would like to answer the question, or if they would like for everyone to answer the question. So if he has the question, and he has said that he would like for everybody to answer the question, but and I heard him say, you've already given me your answer to the question that he's asking.
I haven't. And if you would allow me to answer, because I can see.
In my mind, you have. And
Interesting.
I want the other four.
And that's my point.
Okay, so we are asking, that's what we're asking everyone to do, to designate the person or the individuals that you would like to answer the question.
And you don't take issue with that?
No.
Duly noted. It's being recorded.
Well, if you will, just go ahead and start.
Yes.
If you want to start, do you have an answer for Ken, young man?
Hi.
Use your microphone.
We're gonna give him 1 minute.
1 minute? Okay.
She's our timekeeper.
Okay, thank you for the question. It's a bit loaded. I have this two-part answer. To rate the city as a whole and the city government, I would say I would give it a 6. And the reason why is because, again, I can't take credit from what the accomplishments have happened over the past year. I cannot take those away from the current administration. My issue because of that is the reason I deduct points is because it's not all inclusive from my neighborhood, from the people that I know. But to just directly answer it, I would give it maybe a 6, a week 7. That was. Thank you for that.
Oh, no, I mean, I've been excluded.
Probably a 7. You're going to hear a lot of criticism today about the mayor and the city council here over the last 8 years. And I think they've done a good job. I respect the work they've done. I think they're well-intentioned. In fact, my platform and a lot of solutions I have actually build on the initiatives they put in place and expand those initiatives. But again, going back to my introduction, I think we've lost some vision. I think we are not tied to the voters as much as we are to the corporate interests. And so I think it's a matter of having a fresh voice. You know, it's no insult to say, if you've been in Charlotte, people go, I've been in Charlotte since I've been born in Charlotte. If you've been in Charlotte your whole life, you've seen Charlotte ways, you've seen Charlotte solutions. It's time to have some outside ideas, outside innovation, new ideas, the new energy to push us forward to the next thing. Again, nobody wanted to see Michael Jordan lose, right? But Michael Jordan knew when he was supposed to step away from the game. That's what I'm here for. Thank you.
I would truly say that I would give it a 5. I would also state that because I would give it a 5 is that I look at to where we are going. And where we are going at this moment isn't very prosperous for people that look like me in the communities that I frequent all the time. I would also state that there has been an exceptional job up until this point. Don't get me wrong. I love the city of Charlotte. I always tell people that the city of Charlotte is like a Picasso painting. Very beautiful unless you live in it. So that's why.
Thank you very much. I can't disagree with a lot of what has been said up here, but I do think that we would be really, I think that we'd really be in a different place if people actually begin to act on the things that we want to do. So when you start talking about this, I want to just recognize a couple of people. Luana Mayfield leads our faith-based housing initiative. So when we talk about those things that are going on, she's here because she's listening to what we're about to try to do. And I want you to know that sometimes just because you don't see the brick and mortar up already, There is brick and mortar that will be up at some point. Malcolm Graham is here today. Think about what he has done with Johnson C. Smith and the initiatives that they've put, and he's actually been someone that looks at what goes on at that university and brings it back to us so that we can be a part of it correctly. So I would give myself, not just me, but the city council, I would believe that everyone has got good intent. And if that good intent is led, then we can do more. And that's what we all want. We want everybody in the city, as we would say, to thrive.
Thank you, Mayor James.
Good morning, y'all. Thank you for allowing me to ask some questions. I'm a fourth year student at UNC Chapel Hill and summer intern here at Habitat for Humanity in the Charlotte region. My question to any of the candidates is, how will your administration engage young people and especially first-time home buyers in the current housing market, given the uncertainty that a lot of people my age are feeling right now?
So I would say thank you for being a Tar Heel. I wasn't, so that's okay. The second part of what I would say is that we realize that there's an issue with housing and with young people coming here. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to work with about 17 young students that were enrolled in our police program. They spent the entire summer getting ready for this. Now, they're not quite where they're getting ready to go to college, but we've done things like making sure that young people from CNS can come to the city and get a job immediately after graduation. And in that job, we talk about how to, be financially sound. Because most of this is about learning how to address what you need to get done and to have the ability to walk into a bank or wherever you're going to get lending, to understand and not to be just, not aware of what's necessary to be in a grown-up situation, buying a house, being in a house, and appreciate the work that you're doing at Habitat. Because if you go down West Boulevard now, you can see the houses that have been built by Habitat for Humanity, so thank you for the work.
Yes, also, I like to thank you for being a Tar Heel as well. That's my favorite school. Never had an opportunity to go there, but I was at UNC School of Government. I spoke on a panel there. So for me, it would be more intentional about being in the high schools and middle schools at an early age, having these discussions about their future. Because we have a tendency to always say that our children are our future. I hate that cliche. Our children are our now that's going to lead us to the future. We need you, so we need to be intentional about making sure that we can set you up with plans that can help you in the future as you go along. So I truly believe that we need to be more intentional in the high schools at an early age and start teaching our children about these issues, because it's their future that we're talking about. So it's their now that we need to have these discussions to empower them, because it's going to take empowerment and leadership to help our young adults see the future that they need.
We're able to stand this week. Last week, we needed everybody to sit down. Is that right? That's right? They said sit down. Okay. Real quick before I answer your question, I'm paraphrasing the mayor by saying, just because the brick and mortar isn't up yet, it doesn't mean stuff isn't happening. I think that's part of the problem. We have a transparency problem here in government, right? We've got a 1 cent sales tax going on the referendum that, no insult to anybody, but council members here last week said, well, I haven't formed an opinion because I need to go talk to people. It means you're not getting community input. We've got a stadium deal that didn't be behind doors, and let's not even get into the Jennings situation. So we've got a transparency problem. Just because brick and mortar isn't up, things are happening. Let's hear the plan first before those brick and mortars go up and we're paying for it ourselves. Housing. We've got a 36,000 deficit in housing. 50% of Charlotte is house unpowered. I guess it's basically they pay 30% of their income on housing. That's huge. Again, it's a bad name maybe in this room, but former Councilmember Bakari said we're just treading water right now. We've got 11,000 houses that were built with the Housing Trust Fund, which is great. That was over 2 decades. We're treading water. We need action, innovative plans. We need to use 3D printing, micro-housing, we need to use tax, incremental, we need land trust, that's what we need, thank you.
What's your name? All right, I am a fellow Tower Hill. I actually was the parliamentarian for the Black Student Movement at UNC Chapel Hill, and also the Queen. And I modeled with couture and concept at North Carolina A&T State University, and the cooperation with UNC Chapel Hill, and did the choreography as well. Also with high kicking heels and jiu-jitsu, so that's my stomping grounds. Now, in that same regard, to answer your question, I'm already doing it. So I am also known in the community as Queen Get Her Done. And I got that nickname now, maybe 20 years ago, because I have been intervening and interceding on behalf of those who are suffering from housing instability. Housing instability doesn't always look like someone who is on the street, literally. And instead, housing instability can include things like what you mentioned. We have a huge issue, and I'm glad that some individuals here can actually stand up and actually talk about it without it being considered insulting. We need to learn about an objective truth, and we need change in government to do it. And if we don't have individuals who can actually stand firm against the status quo, then nothing will ever get done, as you've already heard.
Thank you for your question. To address it directly for housing, we're limited on the local level on what we can address and what we can do. And I understand that. One thing I would advocate for is to raise the minimum wage. I would advocate for that for sure. In addition to that, another way that we can combat that is definitely by educating our youth. So, and I agree with what one of the gentlemen down here said, was starting not even in college, but starting in school with educating on finances, the importance of credit. That's something primarily in one specific community we lack. But in addition to that, that's something that I would like to do, is educate those on how to save, how to know how to budget, things like that. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to write a check, and they're fully grown. So education is key to that process as well. And along with that, to combat would be minimum wage increase. Thank you.
Okay, Jackie.
Good morning. Many years ago, the mayor and the budget committee, money was put forth for persons who clean the buildings in the city, and they gave those folk health benefits, though they only worked a few hours. But that was kind of like boots on the ground kind of thing, really making a difference in the lives of folk. I want to know, what is your priority, number one priority, and what have you done to make a difference with that number one priority?
I would like to go ahead.
Excuse me. I just want to let the panel know, so that I'm not cutting you off right in the middle. I'm going to hold this up. That means you have 30 seconds. You're halfway through your 1 minute. So then I'll time you out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the reason why I so excitedly jumped up to answer that question is because too often there's always this kind of lip service that goes along with campaigning as it relates to your high-level issues and your priorities. I have always consistently said that my plan is that of the will of the people. That's it. No mayor, no elected official should have their own plan. And it is unclear as to why the vast majority of individuals have adopted this lip service in that there should be this one priority. My priority is being able to use my interdisciplinary skill set, which is completely unrivaled in environmental science, law, and economics, to help liaise the will of the people. And that's what we need. Those are the three main aspects of any running government. And that's the priority, is doing it in a collaborative fashion, not in a fashion that just serves my own interests or that of my constituents.
Thank you for your question. To answer it directly in regards to priorities, my first thing would be housing. I cannot believe the amount of people that I see on the streets that, front in Charlotte. If you go to my website, you'll see it is so many. There was one that was a church in Uptown, and it was about 6 people on steps in Charlotte. As beautiful as it is. So I don't know of anyone here that has suffered from homelessness or had to come here for assistance in this convention center, but I know what it's like when you need help. And that would be my first priority, would be to make sure that everyone has a roof over their head, whether it be a shelter, where it's cool in the summer, warm in the winter. But that would be my first priority. So thank you for that.
Number one priority, economics, right? It's the old phrase, it's economy stupid, not to you, yeah, that's the old George Bush thing. It's economy. We're talking about whether it is affordable housing, affordable childcare, job creation, transit, public safety. All those come back to money. And we sit there and we work around the edges trying to reduce the cost. And what I want to make sure is we create jobs and an economy that works for Charlotteans. What's frustrating to me is I see these news articles. Charlotte is bringing X company with 250 jobs, paying an average salary of $165,000. And it's like, great. So we've got 200 new people moving into the city, taking that job, and how's it helping people who've been here for a long time? I want to create an economy for the people who have been here for a long time that don't have a college degree, and that's what my plan does. 8,000 jobs over the next 5 years, no college degree required.
I truly believe that my top priority will be safety. Safety being an issue because of the violence that's happening in the city of Charlotte. And I can speak on that because I come from that. I was a product of that environment in the late 80s, early 90s. So I have a vision for our safety in our city of Charlotte by creating more incentivized youth programs to be able to pull our youth off the street, because in 2025, you can't just walk up to nobody and say, oh, you need to stop doing this, you need to stop doing that, and you don't have nothing to offer. So a lot of things that we don't have to offer on the table for our youth. So that's why they're not changing their mindset. We have to be intentional by being in the community, talking to the community, holding town halls and meetings with the communities and the churches and the mosques in order to find out the issues. So safety is my top priority because I want our city to feel safe. That is my main thing. Thank you.
Over this time that I've been as mayor of the city, I have had always three things that I think were most important. And the very first thing is that I want to say thank you to all of you who voted for the $100 million so that we could put more housing on the market as quickly as possible. So housing was one of my very first things. It's been since I began to be in politics. And to do this, I do believe that housing is it's just important for everyone to be feeling safe. You don't feel safe if you don't have a home to go to. You don't feel safe if there are opportunities that make it uncomfortable for you. The second thing was jobs. So you talk about the economy. Not when you have a 6-digit income, hopefully you're spending that money with people that don't have 6-digit income. Now, I'm not saying that it's carefully travels down in the economy, but I do think that when people come to the city, they create jobs and opportunity that are really required for us. And then the final thing that I say is the idea of time. Thank you.
Very nicely done.
This is directed to everyone aside from current Mayor Lyles. How will your administration invest in or support mental health services in neighborhoods most affected by over-policing and gun violence?
That's a good question right there. A very good question. Because like I said earlier, I'm formerly incarcerated. So I see and I understand the mental health capacity that we're in right now. Because 80% of the people that you're probably going to meet that's homeless right now or that's houseless right now are those are the individuals that are dealing with mental health. When you look at our jails and our prisons for the individuals who are coming back home, it's mental health. So we have to be more intentional, because it shouldn't take a city like Winston-Salem that's much smaller than us, but has more support when it comes to mental health. So we have to create more ways and be more intentional about how can we be a city that can be the leader in what's mental health and what's causing mental health today, because that's what's skyrocketing our crime. So being intentional and hiring more staff to come in and evaluate some of these issues would be what I would plan to do.
So I'm not a fan of throwing money at problems or more money at problems. And we can use social equity to correct this. And that's a form of investment as well. And so what I am suggesting, because this is what I do as it relates to our project that me and my mother founded, because my father dealt with homelessness after having about an issue with regards to his leaving as a veteran, because he's buried in Salisbury. I'll try to quickly give you a little bit of input before the time quickly runs out. And so that's the reason why it's a huge hinge for me. The point I'm making is that we can actually, well, Keith Scott is an excellent example of how the culture of Charlotte and our police department and all of our law enforcement, judges included, do not value or respect mental health as a valid issue. And so I would work with these agencies. Many of them, they offer their services pro bono because they have a passion for it. And I would work with them to collaborate to create a different culture centered around understanding mental health issues. And that is definitely one of the first steps that needs to happen here in Charlotte.
Thank you for your question. One thing I would like to do with my administration regarding mental health is making sure that there are outreach programs and making sure that we secure funding to make sure that when someone needs help, they have that place to go to. They're not just seeing a number online and you're in a queue. I've had that happen before. So I believe it's when people call the suicide hotline, and you're on hold. So we want to make sure that we have the funding that's there to staff people that need to be there and have the resources to do that. So I'll definitely make sure that funding is a priority to make sure that mental health is a top issue for my administration. So thank you.
Okay, Robert.
I didn't get a chance to answer that. That's it. There I go? Okay. Want to answer your question, I kind of go back to something that the mayor said. She says, talking about bringing companies here, and says the hopes it comes down. And she called herself, because she's about to say trickle-down economics. We live in a democratic stronghold, but we live in a Republican economy right here. Okay? It's not about trickling down, and she hopes that it goes and gets spent in the right places. It doesn't. It's not. And so that's why we got to make sure we put the money in the people's hands instead of them waiting for the money to come down. Ask what you're asking. We have some great programs, and this is the mayor and the city council have done a great job with this. We've got the Office of Violence Prevention right now. We've also got the Child Development Community Policing, which pairs up police officers with mental health professionals that deal with situations. So they've done some good things, and that's one of the things, and part of my plan is expanding those programs. Also going to what Gemini said too, in terms of that, is providing subsidies to workforce for people formerly incarcerated coming back in the community, because that helps as well. So those are my solutions. Thanks. Brandon King again is candidate for mayor.
Good morning. My question is not for the current mayor, but the other four. In this city, we've seen a lot of growth in the last 10 years. Well, this is only the beginning. In the next 10 years, the growth is going to be even bigger. What specifically, so that you can give me something specific, each of you, if you will, please, what are you going to do for the people that are going to be displaced? Because more people are going to be displaced in the city. You know, it's one thing to act like it's not in more big businesses, more $100,000 jobs that don't come into play. But people in this room aren't the ones we're talking about. We're talking about the people that are not in these positions to get these $100,000 jobs.
Thank you. That is an excellent question, and it ties back to one of my first priorities, which would be to secure housing and funding. I want to ensure that there's funding for, when I say low-income housing, I hate that term because that could be anyone, just because they just barely met the threshold and they're declined a place to live. Specifically, I want to make sure that we invite, when there is construction coming into the city and there are new housing developments, that we prioritize low income, not with qualifications other than the simple fact that their issue is just they may be single or they may have children, and I want to make sure that they have a place that they can call home where it's affordable and something that is new. Like I said, one thing I wanted to do is to build shelters or also use funding to have shelters to help the homeless. In addition to that, I want to have them get places of their own. So in doing that, part of that is going to be the funding. We're getting a lot of newcomers to come in, but to lower the price. I know right now in the city, we can't do that because in the county, there's a limit where we cannot impact that. But I want to try to do a rent block where we don't have to worry about that. So that's one of the main things. You can check out my site for more about that.
Oh goodness, 1 minute to do this. I'm going to do my absolute best. So I'm going to piggyback one more time because he mentioned something about the housing aspect. Good gracious. Housing instability and newcomers to the city is not just a monolithic type of situation. So you're dealing with individuals who may have a criminal background, you're dealing with individuals who may have mental health issues, you're dealing with individuals who may not have a degree or find themselves where they cannot get out of a certain salary base. And at the end of the day, Mayor Valdes is saying that she has put housing in place. That housing is in place, absolutely, but it's not affordable, and it hasn't been, and it needs to be. And that's one of the biggest issues, one of the plagues, in fact, against Charlotteans. They are upset about those things. The other thing is, you're not going to know what's happening if you're always sitting in your high place. I am literally always walking the streets, literally, and I have found that I receive 10 to 15 calls a day as it relates to housing instability, and I'm working on that every day.
So the question is about displacement. It goes back to what I was talking about before about the economy. It's about putting money into people's hands. My job creation, one of the things that's focusing on that is two things. One, it's permanently pedestrianizing uptown Charlotte. We have festivals there all the time, making that a permanent pedestrian zone. Studies have shown that tourism dollars can increase by 40% by pedestrianized zone. You have it here in the U.S. in San Antonio with the Riverwalk. You have it in other places in countries like Copenhagen, Madrid. What that'll do is that when you have tourism, a lot of those jobs are non-degree jobs, so you put money in their hands. Second part of that is what I call the Charlotte Skills Academy, and it's making the training people for those jobs that'll come with pedestrianizing that zone. All these things are wrapped together. Our transit plan doesn't make sense because where is the transit going to? If we pedestrianize uptown, we have tourism, we make it a place to go. There's an article just came out, Charlotte out of 75 cities, Charlotte was ranked the 63rd in terms of the most boring city in the US. Why are we not building up an industry like tourism, which doesn't require college degrees? Why do we keep bringing these high-paying jobs? Let's focus on the people who are here and giving them money, and then therefore we can work on displacement. And part of that pedestrianizing is making sure there's some things to make sure there's not displacement in place. Thank you.
Intentionality and transparency. How can we do that? What does that look like? It looks like having leadership that's being intentional when people are coming in to build in our city. Being intentional to allow them to come and build and say to them, look, 20% of what you're going to build here has to be intentional for housing, displacement. Because we see every day this is going to be a hot topic. Housing is going to be a hot topic. And they've been talking about housing for the last 10 years. And nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. So therefore, it is time for a different leadership, a different mindset, to be more progressive about the things that we need to do for our houseless individuals. So with my plan, I truly believe that we will be intentional about making sure that we are bringing people in that's going to build in our city, or you're going to allow individuals with criminal records. We can deal with mental health by hiring peer support specialists and things of that nature to work with these individuals finance-wise and all of that. So being intentional and transparent it will go a long way with us when it comes to housing. Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
All right, y'all, we got to beef up some efficiency, so we're going to split it. 15 seconds a question, please, 30 seconds, and answer. We have a lot of questions and a little time. Right now, we got Jay Hill, thank you. Before we go to Jay Hill's question, at 10 o'clock, we will have a group here for Walk, Married for Life Walk, which will be here, and Bill DeVoe and New Edition Zone, Ronnie DeVoe will be here, and that will happen at 10 o'clock. But right now, if you have a specific candidate that you would like to respond to your question, please address them, but know you got 15 seconds to ask it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jay Hill. I'm from West Boulevard. My question is to the panel, if that's okay, real quick. West Boulevard is surrounded by the River District, South End, the airport, Wilkinson Boulevard, and now gentrification has crept into my parents' neighborhood, Barringer Woods, Clinton Park. If you're elected, what would be your plan for West Boulevard?
So remember, I have so many times mentioned collaboration. So as it relates to environmental sustainability and economics and incorporating that in the law, and my background as a federal ranger, that includes historic preservation, and I'm good at it. I've opened many businesses as it relates to the same, having done so in Uptown Greensboro and Louisville, Kentucky, and successfully so. That being said, I would use that same skill set, that same paradigm, progressive paradigm, and work with the developers directly to show them how they can integrate those things and actually reduce the expenses, and then they don't need to gentrify. And it actually serves the public at large together in an equitable way.
All right, thank you.
So I would definitely want to make sure that we have zone restrictions. So when we have the people coming in building, because free gentrification is a huge issue in Charlotte, period. So I would definitely make sure that we have zone restrictions. In addition to that, I would also like to advocate on the state level to try and get rent control so that that's not an issue where the landlords have free for all, can charge anything and won't come in and price people out of Charlotte. That's unacceptable.
Anyone else would like to?
Go. Expanding the corridors of opportunity, so that's one of them. It is a matter of investing 150, there's already been, I think, about 100 million invested in this corridors, 150 million more. You get funding sources of, let's see, I apologize, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. You also have the Community Development Block Grants, creating 3,000 jobs, 7% that go to non-degree holders, and you integrate by 2030, 3,000 jobs and unemployment reduced by 3%. So again, it goes back to, if you got jobs, you can fight that gentrification.
Well, the first thing that I would say about West Boulevard is that they are doing tremendous work. And I think if we follow the leadership of the community, we will be able to do this work. So a few things that I know, the land banking is being done right now, that we are really working in terms of the Seven Sisters Marketplace. That community, the West Side, you have been in the room with me that says, we're gonna make something different. And I think that what our position is to follow your lead.
First thing that I would like to do is, I'm from West Boulevard, as you know. And we've never had a grocery store on West Boulevard. So we need to be intentional about having a grocery store on West Boulevard. And we also need to be intentional about not displacing the individuals who are grandfathered in those communities. And see, that's the biggest problem. We have builders coming in, property taxes go up, individuals can't afford to stay in these particular communities. I would be intentional about West Boulevard because it's dear to me, because I've watched West Boulevard grow. So being intentional about having grocery stores, being intentional about not allowing individuals to be displaced because we have builders coming into our community.
Don't forget about Wayne's. We got Mr. Lillis, Ayo, and then we have Congresswoman Adams.
Okay, so at the time people won't have to flag out, I'm gonna ask with yes or no question.
you're gonna try your best to get me to vote for you. If I vote for you based on all of this politician talk y'all are doing, and you don't fulfill your job, will you step down?
I'll be the first to answer and tell you yes, because I'm going to be intentional about what I'm doing.
Yes or no?
Yes.
I don't need to.
I don't need to. I am Queen Get Her Done, and I have a track record, so there's no need to step down. I do what I do. I don't put words in without action. I don't.
No, I would not. No.
Thank you.
I yield then Congresswoman Adams.
I'm sorry. I didn't get the answer. The micropass. Yes, I would, but I also don't plan on.
Io Johnson, Executive Director, Mental Health America. Leading a city of this size takes experience. What is your level of experience, your highest level of experience, the number of people that you have led, and the highest budget level that you have been in charge of? I jumped up excitedly. We still have 15 seconds on this one too? Yes. Because I have worked with Chancellor Fort at North Carolina A&T State University, handling a upward to $10 million budget as it relates to Black farmers, and the Greensboro A&T 4. I have been instrumental as it relates to my own organization over the past 20 years, which is called the Southern Hospitality Project and the Above Ground Railroad. And we've handled over the past 2 decades, I would say upwards to $1 million, just grassroots. Because a lot of the investments that are in my program, they come from the social equity that I mentioned to her before, so that it does balance out. Because again, I'm not a big fan of throwing money at problems, and I try to figure out creative ways to work through. And you can visit BC Tigris Run for more information, but over the years, as it relates to federal government as well, I would say probably pretty close to $50 million, and the highest level is always on the leadership.
Thank you so much. Mr. Brennan. I ain't want to just call you Brennan. Mr. McGinnis.
I can appreciate the question, but one thing I will point out is every single elected official here at one point in time, whether it's the mayor or council member, was new to the job and didn't have this experience. So I understand experience is good, but at the same time, they're all new, and sometimes it's about a fresh perspective and fresh connections. I was never in the corporate world. Quite honestly, I was a small business owner the whole time. My business is a financial planning business, as I mentioned before. Assets were around 100 million. I had about 7 staff, payroll around 200,000. So I don't know if that answers your question. I don't have that corporate world experience, but I do understand small business owners. Thank you.
Mr. Gann.
Thank you for your question. Can you hear me? Okay. So my background is in banking and finance. I've worked with multiple 500, Fortune 500 companies, from Bank of America to Wells Fargo. I've managed and touched billions, and I've also led hundreds. And I've always been successful with every department I've ever worked with, and I do feel that I would be an exceptional leader for the community. Thank you.
All right, after Congresswoman Adams, we have Larkin. We have Johnette, then we have Dr. Tommy Watson.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am Congresswoman Alma Adams. I work on 4 H's: housing, healthcare, higher education, and hunger. What I want to know from each of you, what is your intent, and how would you interact with your other governments, particularly your federal government and your state government? Because what you do here, what the city of Charlotte has to do and continues to do, and what I think you should do, is to have that interaction. So I'm just curious about how you would go about that. Each of you.
Thank you for the question. Also, thank you for your service and being a pioneer for a lot of us here in this room. So thank you for that. As regards to my goal and what I want out of this is to lead the city and transform Charlotte to be all-inclusive, to take it further. And I do intend to work on the state and federal level, advocating for a lot of different programs that we on the local level are restricted on doing without working hand in hand with those in Congress and those on the state level. So I definitely want to work together. I definitely see myself working with you and others in the community. And I want that change to be together. I want us to be one. We have one vision, which is to have the success of Charlotte and the Charlotteans. So I would definitely want to do that. Thank you.
It's all about relationships. Politics is about relationships. And so it's building those relationships. I think it is I know I don't have those connections right now, but I think that's a positive. I'm going into those relationships with a fresh face, a fresh voice, and an equal power dynamic in one sense. I think that's the problem is when you're working with whether it's the legislature or the current administration, it's a matter of not having those relationships and not, I want to say supplicating, but you got to go in there with a certain amount of power and know that the power that you have as a city. I think for too long, Charlotte has sat there and been kind of the ugly person in the room, wanting everybody to date them. We have power. I think it's a matter of coming with it and showing our power in those relationships.
Thank you so much. Did everyone? All right. Go ahead. Mr. Boyd, Mr. Q.
Councilwoman, thank you for the question. And I just want to say one of the very first things that I would like, how many of my peers that are here understand Dillon role? The role of Dillon in our state. So you can't be in the mayor's office without understanding who has power and who doesn't, and how to use power when it's necessary. And so when you start thinking through this, the council, I think, understands very deeply about the Dillon rule, because you need to really look at what's going on in Raleigh, in the United States Capitol, the work that we do with the congressional. All of these are built around a position that we have been given as a city. So if you have any time and want to talk about government, I'm glad to share with you how the Dillon role is. But I didn't answer the question. The city's budget is over $3 billion, and that is a lot of money. And a lot of the work that we're doing has to be consigned with the county. And we need to begin to think, how do we be better in this city with city and county relationships, especially in so many ways that it impacts our community.
Thank you, Mayor Lyles.
I am so glad that she actually answered that question for us, because the mayoral conference, as a Juris Doctorate lawyer, now pursuing my license to practice law in California, because I attended a law school in California, so in California first, and then here in North Carolina. That being said, the mayoral conference is how you influence legislation. And I already, Dr. Adams is fully aware of this. I've been doing this for 20 years. I work with the representatives all the time. They help me to expedite food stamps for the homeless. They help me to expedite any and everything as it relates to the philanthropic work that I've done to change our economy and change the housing instability and change the landscape of our city government. I've been doing it for years, and it's very interesting that some of you are not aware of that, or maybe alternatively, you don't want to acknowledge my work.
Thank you, Dr. Acute McDaniels. Larkin.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me, Mr. Boyd.
Yes, to answer your question, Congresswoman Adams, it would just truly be relationships. How can we just build relationships as the mayor, as being the mayor of the city of Charlotte, is to go into individuals such as yourself and build those relationships and have those conversations about how and what we can do to make our city better than what it is, than what it already is.
All right, Larkin.
Larkin Eggleston, thank you all for being here. Mr. McGinnis referenced, I believe the number was 26,000 housing units he has a plan to create. I'm eager to hear as quickly as you can that plan, because a number of the things that have been mentioned around housing today are things that are not legally allowed in the state of North Carolina, and that's not likely to change anytime soon. So I'd like to know the timeline of that plan and the outline of that plan as best you can in 30 seconds.
10-year plan, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. Expanding the housing trust fund, 750 units, 11,250 of those come from the housing trust fund. You've got the Charlotte, Charlotte Housing Opportunity Investment Fund. That's going to have 6,500. Three printing. Micro housing. Charlotte has their first micro housing over there on the south end using that. Charlotte Land Trust. It's in Greensboro. We've got one in the west end right now, as is. Tax incremental funding, which is basically we've been using that down in Valentine Bowl and on South End as well. So all those things, again, I can give you, if you want me to give you the exact numbers, I can, but that's where the 25,900 comes from, is those initiatives.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Janet Cape. I am a first-generation Liberian American. I'm saying that because I represent two parts of Charlotte, Black Americans and Africans, specifically Liberians. We just celebrate 178 years of independence, had a large festival. We have a lot of impact in the city. Usually when we speak about immigrants, they speak about Hispanics, others, but the Africans and Caribbeans, to me, is not really considered. What is the consideration for the Africans and Caribbeans who contribute a lot internationally and citywide?
I think I am the best to answer that question because I am Haitian. I am Haitian American. Some of you know that, and I think that's why you take issue with me, because there's been a lot of talk about our culture and what you believe my religion to be, which is completely disgusting and not appropriate at all, because that's not how we roll. That being said, I am a huge activist with our Charlotte Haitians, Jamaicans, the Caribbeans on the east side. We do so much work with the festivals, carnival, everything that we do, where it comes across as just fun. We also do so much philanthropic social activism as well. So I've already been doing it.
For the Africans too.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I was just speaking from them.
Thank you. Anybody else want to take a?
Repeat the question real quick.
What is your consideration, if there's consideration, for the African community, Liberian, Caribbean, because we have a lot of impact.
Sure. What I'm going to say is, I'm not going to say my consideration is going to be exceptional for you. It's going to be inclusive, just like would anything else. Okay. I will note that the reason why I talk about that is, it was funny, I saw the Liberian celebration the other day. I saw some of the posts from other people, and I actually talked about Liberia about a year and a half ago in my previous campaign. I ran for the U.S. House in 2024, and I talked about Liberia, and I talked about how there's still people in the U.S. who consider African Americans who have been here longer than even my relatives, still consider them immigrants and outsiders, and that's not right.
Yes, thank you for your question. For me, my daughter, I have a 4-year-old daughter, and her parents and her grandparents and her bloodline is from Kenya. So I will truly be intentional about making sure that everyone is included in the growth of our city, and not just one part of our city or anything like that, but under a new leadership, under my leadership, we will be intentional about making sure that everyone is included in the growth of this city.
We have an organization, the Sister Cities organization, and we try to include everyone. And if there's an opportunity that you would like to have something posted on the city council walls, please let us know, because we need to know more and learn often about what's happening on terms of people that are coming to the city, and we should welcome them.
Yes, and I would definitely, for my administration, we look forward to, as I've mentioned before, my message is all about inclusion. So I'll make sure that I have diversity on my team, as well as programs that include all types of immigration reform, things of that nature, so you have a voice and a platform through my administration.
Okay, Dr. Tommy Watson.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Tommy Watson. Quick question here. We got a chance to see recently some of the cities like Baltimore, some other cities doing some very creative things to help decrease crime amongst the young people. What are some of the strategic things you guys would do? Just give me one thing that you would do to help decrease and engage our young people here in Charlotte.
One thing, thank you for your question. One thing that I want to do is have some type of program developed where we're all able to come together as a community, and it's actually on the website as well, with law enforcement. We don't want them to be outsiders as guards. We want them to be a part of the community, since there's some communities where they know the officers by name, I want that to be something that we have here in Charlotte. I don't want it to be an outsider type program. So one thing I would like to do is have some type of program where youth is involved, whether it be job shadowing or a car rides or something of that nature, where they're not afraid or fearful of law enforcement, but they understand the role, respect it, and the community. So that would be one of my main priorities. Thank you.
I wanted her to hear, but maybe she'll hear it through the video, and maybe I'll get an opportunity to speak with her after. So in my community, we consider ourselves diasporan, and we are, and Jamaicans are very big on this, Haitians are very big on this. We are the same. Black America, the equity that includes all different forms of diversity here. And in that regard, that's where I would start. That's always been the hingeman, is creating a more inclusive environment. And that means centered on understanding, awareness of different cultures, and positively exploiting our unique individual assets that we bring to the community, because that's not what's happening. And we could have so much more collaborative effort. It doesn't have to just happen from the people in the high places. It can be done on a daily basis with boots on the ground.
Questions on youth crime, is that correct? Who asked that?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Also youth engagement.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk directly about the youth crime, the youth engagement part of that. That's one of these programs that Charlotte currently has that is actually good, and I'm looking to expand that, which is the Alternative to Violence Integration. It's gonna be subsidizing after school and summer care in high need areas. Okay, keep them off the street, keep them occupied. They're not sitting at home, they're getting some care, it keeps them busy. That should only take, supports 5,000 families, reducing youth crime by 50%, only costs about $5 million a year by my estimates.
Mr. Morales has said a couple of things that we've really been focused on, and many of those programs are new. But one of our programs that really has been around for a long time is that if you go into Atrium's hospital and you've had some kind of problem with your health, but mostly this around gunshot wounds. And when a young man or a woman comes into the hospital, they immediately get a person that is their mentor. It's not just coming in to get well. They come in and they work with that person, say, do you have a place to go after this? Where are you going to live? What do you need from us? And that program at Atrium has been in existence for years. And it makes a true difference when things are really tough for young people. They have a place that they can go, and when they walk out, they have a place to stay.
I'm gonna go back to the word intentional. Being intentional about creating more youth incentivized programs. Because I will say this over and over and over again. I'm in the streets of the city of Charlotte every single day. I'm a peer specialist for the Public Defender's Office, so I'm going in and out of the jails all the time, so I'm hearing these conversations. And a lot of the things that our youth want is opportunity. They don't feel as though they're receiving opportunities. And opportunities for them look like coming out there and talking and having conversations with them. So creating more youth incentivized programs and being intentional about working with the youth to empower them, to make them feel as though they're included in the growth of our city. So just being intentional with that.
All right, y'all, we have 10 minutes, 5 questions. We have Barry, John Tell, David Howard, Councilman Malcolm Graham, and then Ken Combs.
Barry Green Jr., Charlotte is a car-dependent city. No car, no job, likely no food, and there are neighborhoods in Charlotte that spend upwards of almost 50% on car ownership. Where do you stand on transit tax currently and as an opportunity to fund a more car-optional city?
All right, perfect. So I'm going to try one more time because I wanted you to hear while we're here. So from my perspective, Haitians, and we believe we are all one because we are African. So that's what I meant. I want to make sure to clarify that there is no separation whatsoever from my viewpoint at all. And I wanted to clarify really quickly, and then I'll answer your question. again, as it relates to the youth, for inclusivity. I'm maximizing my time because I want you, and go to thectigressrun.com, just like what Jim and I said. He and I are on the streets every day. Every day. And we keep talking about the youth as though there's some type of elusive group that has absolutely no skill set and no good mind, and they are the exact opposite. I'll get to yours in the next.
Thank you so much, Dr. Q. McDaniels.
I'll get to it.
Thank you for your question. Can you hear me? Okay. I would, first and foremost, not support any type of raising tax. In regards to that, I do believe that Charlotte is a growing city that has a lot of cars and things of that nature. One thing that I notice is there's an issue right now with public transportation. So I would like to include some type of budget that brings incentives, whether it be advertising on the bus or something like that, that can help keep the taxes leveled. And in regards to the actual cars, I definitely do support.
All right, thank you so much.
Vehicles. Sorry.
Mr. McGinnis.
The question is basically, do I support the 1% sales tax? I do not. I oppose the transit plan in place because it is inequitable. It favors wealthy suburbs and disregards the underserved areas in Charlotte, specifically East Charlotte. And it's a regressive tax. There are 9 stops on that red line. Only 3 of them are in Charlotte. Who here is going to go visit Mooresville? Who's going to go to Cornelius? Who's going to take that to Huntersville? Nobody, right? You're paying for it. Microtransit.
Thank you, Mr. McGinnis. Mr. Boyd. Can you pass Mr. Boyd the mic? Thank you.
Such as myself, I oppose that transit tax because it's only going to cause problems for individuals who are trying to go to work and they already don't have enough in their homes right now. So with that transit tax that they're trying to implement, it's really going to it's going to be bad for individuals that look like you and I. And that doesn't help our community because when you talk about raising taxes, it's only going to cause more crime to go up because individuals are going to be put out their homes and things of that nature. They're going to be going out trying to make money to do things illegally. So, thank you.
All right, Mayor Lyles has to go, so we'll allow her to take this next question.
So I do support the transit tax. And when we're talking about this, I want to make it really clear that who rides the bus right now are already Black people that are with us. They're already driving a bus. The question is, are they riding to work, to have an opportunity for their kids? And then there's even a question is it going to take them an hour or an hour, 2 hours to get on a bus? The transit plan goes to a limit of 15 minutes for the people to be on a bus and get to work on time. This is the biggest thing that we can do in our time, for people to have real jobs with real opportunity. So I'm going to support it. I hope that you will take more time listening for it, and thank you for having me because I have to go to work. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Lyles, for joining us today. We're going to allow her to dip on out. Thank you for joining us. John Tell has the next question, followed by David Howard, and after that, Councilman Malcolm Graham.
Good morning. My question is for Mr. McGinnis and young man on the end. You both have given a lot of information about change and things that you do like about the current administration and data. And I want to know, what are you guys doing now to help the current administration? Because a lot of times people come in, they want to be elected and they want to take over. But what are you doing to help those who are already in place to maybe get that going?
Thank you for the question. One thing that I was doing with the current administration was I was a supporter and voter for it. So I believed in the administration. I believe that, and I believe that a lot has been accomplished. So part of what I did was I voted for it originally. In addition to that, I am in the community. I have adopted streets. We go through the community. We clean. We feed the homeless. And it's just, when I'm seeing so much on the streets, it's not enough being done. And that's what pulled me to say, maybe I need to step in and see if I can help in any way. So that's what I would. Thank you.
Basically, what you're asking is, I guess, community involvement. I will admit I'm kind of light on that. I actually moved to the West End in 2019. Actually worked on the board with Darnell, there with Malcolm. And so I saw the problems firsthand, and I went to the zoning meetings, and I talked, and I tried to sit there and say, hey, this isn't right. We got to slow down this gentrification. The 2040 plan doesn't work, especially in these historically black neighborhoods like this. So that's what I did. And I'm a stay-at-home father. That's my background. I support my wife in her career. She got a job call down in South Charlotte. I've been down in Valentine since. And it kind of left my mind. But what I'm saying is the reason why I'm running is because of transparency. The decisions are being made. I would probably not be here now.
We got to round it out. We only have a few minutes left, and I want to be fair to everybody. David Howard.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. First of all, I think it is a big thing to have anybody want to step up to run, so thank you for that. But my question is, tell me any boards and commissions on the city or the county you've participated in, and why, Mayor, why not run for city council?
That was an excellent question. Thank you for that. I believe that leadership starts at the top. And because if I go in the middle or on the council or on the board, my voice will be minimized. I want to be a voice for the people, and I want to start at the top. I've led before, and I do believe that I have the ability to lead the city and to lead people and be a voice for those who are voiceless. As far as other boards I've worked on, I'd say I've always been in the streets, never with a formal committee. I've always just, my family and I, we're very big with going out, volunteering out there on the rain, different organizations within the community.
Thank you, Mr. Ken.
So I have answered your question. I broke it down for the environmental sustainability, the economics, and the legal impact and DEI online at Sea Tigers Run. So either the Sea Tigers Run or at Facebook. And I was one of the first candidates to do that. And I believe some of the other candidates have taken a page out of my book. In that regard, it goes into great detail, and I do oppose the tax, okay, for that reason. To answer your question, I have so many times as a Juris Doctorate told individuals that the mayoral seat has absolutely no statutory authority. And in that regard, I'm running for this position because that's how the city values.
Thank you, Dr. Big Daniels. Mr. McGinnis, give it a shot.
I have not worked on any board specific with the city. What this race is about entrenched power. It's about establishment. And so a lot of these questions, I get it. We're asking, what was your commitment to the city, or what have you been doing? But if you're part of the problem now, you can't be part of the solution. I see myself as a visionary, and visionaries are very many times misunderstood. But we see things that other people don't. And just because I don't fit the model that you are used to, don't discount me.
Mr. Boyd.
Like my constituent here, I'm a visionary as well. And I'm currently on the community engagement task group with the county, where we implement ideas and ways to bring resources to our communities. So I'm constantly in the streets. I'm constantly working with the city government, doing all these different things, so all of them basically can vouch on the things that I've done for this city. There is no one that's sitting here that can tell you more about what they have done for this city in the last 10 years. So for me, just continuing to work with them and be a voice for our community.
I appreciate you, Mr. Boyd. Councilman Graham, please close us out with the last question.
Last question for the panel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It really was for the mayor, but she left. Going back to transit, I don't think everyone does not support it. Young man, do you support it?
I do not.
Okay. Would you support it if it had an anti-discrimination policy that helped aid for affordable housing on the transit line in West Boulevard, and to support small businesses who may be dislocated because of the construction on Batesford Road as well as Central Avenue?
Is that question specifically and only to him, Councilman Graham?
Everyone can answer, I get shot at.
So I do not support it. I would like to take a look at it from a whole and start over. I definitely support parts of it, for sure, and parts of the community, but as a whole, I can't say that I just stand by it and just allow the support just because certain parts are good of it when I don't agree with the China.
I appreciate that expansion of thinking for it, and it would definitely persuade me to get closer to actually, supporting it. But mostly I'm conflicted because I understand that infrastructure requires money. I'm a doctoral level economist, I get that. But at the end of the day, it's not inclusive as it relates to environmental sustainability, so that's another hinge pin that needs to be included in that bill. And I think, I think these I'll stop.
Thank you, Dr. McDaniel. Mr. McGinnis.
I'm not too sure I caught exactly what the question was, but what I'll say is that one of the reasons why I oppose the expansion is because I'd rather, expansion may be good in the future, but I want to deal with the needs now, not something that's going to be done in 2035. So I want to deal with the issues now, helping people now in Charlotte. There is expansion in my plan. It's not a red line. It's an extension of the blue line in South Charlotte. It goes through communities that are underserved, creating jobs, goes to Carowinds, creates more tourism. It's a total package. Go to my website, www.mcginnisformayor.com or .org, and see it.
All right, Ken, quickly, last one. Well, no, Mr. Board, I do this every time. I'm sorry.
I truly oppose it because it's only going to displace individuals. We need to create a balance in the community by working with the business community and our grassroots community to ensure everyone is being intentionally helped and or taken care of. And with that said, with that property tax, it would do the total opposite of that. So I truly oppose of it.
Thank you, Mr. Combs. Close us out.
Thank you, Dr. McDaniel. Thank you, Dr. McDaniel, for invoking the words I asked for, because I accept and agree that black folks are not a monolithic people, but we're very inclusive of other people of color as well. So my question to you is, do you see a disconnect between so-called African Americans and Black Americans?
Yes,
My question is only for you.
Oh, I speak about it all the time. It is one of my huge platforms. It really just saddens me that too many individuals have spoken about Haitians the way they have, who look beautifully like me, and you speak about our Haitian culture as if it's not the foundation, the West African culture as if it's not the foundation, Liberian culture, like Caribbean culture as if it's not the foundation. Haitian is, it disgusts me, to be honest, and I've been a huge advocate in demystifying Haitian culture, demystifying African culture.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We had a spicy one today. Woo.